Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. Thank you for joining the sesh with me, Justin Barone. I hope you're having a good day, good week, good month, good year, good life. Hope life's being good to you. That's what I'm saying. This week, I was wondering, how close do you think we are to the purge? That's my thought for this week. Okay? Because when I first saw the purge, I thought, no, I don't think this is very likely to happen because it's crazy. And then, recently, crazy things have started to happen. And now, I'm not so sure it wouldn't be put on the table at some point in the future. Might even be like a running slogan for one of the candidates, just like the plot in one of the movies. I think it's the second one. Or the first one, or all of them. I don't remember. But I think that the way everything is going right now is that we're headed for a purge. If you don't know what the purge is, it's a series of movies about the government that is in place in the United States, allowing their citizens to purge for one night, so they could do illegal stuff. They can 6 feet under some people if they want to. They can steal. They could rob. They could do all that fun stuff, right? Without the consequence of penalty. Just to get out all the aggression and the angst. Because, like, as we see in society now, aggression, whoop, whoop, it's like the meter's full, dude. If it pops, it's gonna be like apocalypse vibes, man. People are just gonna be fighting people over nothing in the street. Okay? Oh, wait, that's already happening. That's right. So I don't think we're that far from the purge. But then it got me thinking, it's also horror movie season, right? So, like, my daughter and I we have started our horror movie marathons, where every night we try to watch a bunch of horror movies that equals out to at least one movie a night for the month of October, right? So, naturally, thinking about and watching what's going on in the world today, and then thinking about horror movies and being immersed in horror movies at the moment, I was thinking, man, it seems like we're pretty close to, offing each other pretty quick, pretty fast. It's going to be like one big samurai sword of mush, So, life is at an all-time boil. And I don't think that it's that unlikely to think that some government, I don't know which one, but they might put this in practice just so that they can cull some of the people, And imagine if that's like that's your go-to for blowing off steam, is blowing off heads. That's fucked up. Like, my blowing off steam generally involves getting rid of the kids for a night, like, to someone's house, not actually getting rid of them, to someone's house, and then going to have some drinks, smoke some weed, and bang. That's how I blow off steam. Okay? I don't generally think to myself, man, I'm frustrated and pent up. I need to go stab someone in the neck. I don't think that. But then that got me thinking, if I don't think that, but a lot of people do, like, I would protect myself, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going out there to try and, I don't want to lop off heads. As much as I think it would be fun to lop off heads, I don't want to lop off heads. Imagine you just maim somebody. Ugh. It takes a lot to fucking do someone in, I once got asked to put a bird out of its misery on the golf course I worked at when I was back in university. And that's a bird, and it had a broken wing, and it couldn't go anywhere anymore. And it, like, the boss said, go take care of it because it can't live. It's just living in pain. You can't fix that. And I was like, no problem. I could do that. And then I went down to the hole that the bird was flopping around on. And I went to off that bird, and off I couldn't do it. Like, I thought I was this big tough dude. Imagine if it was a person. That's a person. I can't smush your face. I can smush your face, but I can't smush your face. You know what I'm saying? But then it got me thinking, if you do institute the purge, there's going to be, like, potheads in the purge, right? And, like, I don't know too many potheads. Maybe they would capitalize on getting rid of some of their competition, especially in Canada. If you've got a competitor, maybe you go around sabotaging some things, you know what I'm saying? But I don't see potheads really knocking people off. I see potheads you know what they would do, okay? First of all, they would get together and they would make one of their pothead buddies' houses impenetrable, okay? And then they would hang out at that house for the term of the purge, which is just 24 hours, or maybe it's just overnight. I think it's 24 hours. No, it's 12 hours. 12 hours, right? I don't know. Look it up. Arguing with myself. So they would lock themselves in their rich buddy's house, right? And then they would just have like a giant pot party. Like, that's what I would do. If there was a purge night, I would lock my house down like the side of a mountain. Okay? You're not getting in unless you blow the whole fucking thing up, all right? And then I would just get high, watch movies, listen to some good music. If I could afford the security system that would take, obviously I would have a pool table and a dartboard, maybe even an indoor pool. Maybe I'm a billionaire. You don't know. But at this point, that's what I figured I would do. And then if I did that with my buddies, right, then we don't have to worry about anything. Now, obviously, we have to worry about our enemies. So turrets. I would have turrets. I would have turrets, a moat. I'd have a moat. I'd have alligators in the moat. And then I'd have, like, saltwater ponds. And I'd have sharks in the saltwater ponds. And then on top of my turrets, I would have yetis. That's what I would do. Yep, get into my house. Try it. Give it a shot. If the purge happens, good luck to you. And then if you did get past the alligators, the sharks, the turrets, and the yetis, okay, then you'd still have to get by my best friend Gil the gorilla. Yeah, that's right. He's a silverback that lives in my living room. He's been real pent up lately because his whole job is to just make me feel better and keep those bad people away from me. So if you come in my house and you get past, like I said, the fucking crocodile and the alligators, or the alligators, whatever I said, the sharks and the yetis, you got to deal with Gil. Good luck dealing with Gil, man. It's going to be a mess, but I'll clean up the mess. Well, maybe I won't. Maybe Gil will have to clean up the mess. Maybe, you know what I would do? If I knew that the purge was coming, I would start a cleanup business for the purge, where you have crews that go around to every house and they clean up the splatter. You know what I'm saying? Make it look like nothing ever happened. That's what I would do. And then my house would be a fortress. Nobody could get in. No one. On the other side of that, if you're in, you can't get out either. But me and my buddies would do that, right? And then we would just hang out. And then if somebody did get in, how do you know that you would get away with whatever you were whatever nefarious things you were trying to get up to? Like, say you're trying to steal from me. Say you're trying to off one of my buddies. How do you know? Because keep in mind, we're high. There's the likelihood or the possibility that we could be in the middle of playing Rambo. You're talking about grown men in a billionaire's home. You're just going to walk in with a hatchet? Yeah. You better come with more than that, son. You know what I'm saying? You come in with a hatchet, I'm meeting you with a rocket launcher. You come in with a rocket launcher, I got C4, baby. Like, bring it on. That's what I would do in the purge. I wouldn't go out and purge, because that's just stupid. If you go out and purge, your likelihood of staying alive is way less. If you live in an apartment building, you're basically screwed, because you're going to have, just like in the movies, like militiamen coming in. Ice, dude. You're going to have ice breaking down your doors, coming to get you with no rules. Oh, wait. Seems like they don't have rules now. I'm just saying. You know? Yeah. So I think that basically the way that life is going right now, I think there's a high possibility that we are going to all need our own fortresses eventually. Like, this could be not good for people. Listen to the podcast, please. Help me get advertisers. You know what? On purge night, I will sit in my living room and we'll purge together. We'll purge our emotions into the forefront of our living situations for 12 hours. That's what we'll do. We'll create a Community of safe purgers, gentle purgers. We purge our souls. We purge our souls, not our egos. Well, I guess we kind of want to purge our egos, right? Okay, so then we would purge our souls, but not with our hands. Now, that sounds dirty. It sounds like a porn. I'll purge your soul, but not with my hands, I won't. Dude, imagine some English dude telling you that and you wake up and you're strapped to a chair in his dungeon in fucking Nottingham. That would be terrifying. I also think that for the most part, potheads would be okay because in every movie ever, and we all know that real life is just like movies, in every movie ever, the pothead has always lasted like almost till the end, if not till the end, because he's like, what is it, the childish one, unless they depict him as no, because the virgins live, right? But sometimes we get depicted as virgins, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe when you're like 17, but I feel like if you're smoking weed at 17, you're fucking like, what would you do in the purge? Tell me that. I want to know. What would you do in the purge? Would you button up? Would you go out and purge? What would you purge? Who would you purge? Maybe don't tell me that because that's probably, I don't need to know. I don't want to be an accessory, even if the purge becomes a thing. I don't want to be the guy that knows what you were doing. It's probably better if you don't, right? Like if I was going to do something like that, or if I was going to do something illegal, I don't think I'd tell anybody, like ever. Like you would, unless I got caught, but you would never know I was thinking of doing it. You would never know I did it unless I got caught. And in that case, well, then I guess you would know that I was thinking about it at some point. But you, like, if it's me and you sitting across the table, you're not going to know that I was thinking about doing it. You're not going to know that I did it. And then when I get away with it, you're not going to know that I even did that because then I got away with it. Like I wouldn't tell anybody anything about my nefariousness. So in the purge, I don't think it's a good idea to try and let people in on what you want to do. If you're going to go out, like, why go out in a group? Don't you want to go out like a ninja? Like, go out and lurk in the shadows and just like, I guess it depends on what you're doing, right? Like, if it's a group of people at work, you better have been, if the purge happens and you're a shitty boss, you better watch out, bro. I'm just saying, people, I feel like that's the first group of people they'll go for. And then, because in this situation, politicians and like certain people are off limits, right? In the movie, if you've seen the movie. So I would assume in real life, obviously the politicians aren't going to be like, yeah, let me do it too. I'm not part of this. You stay over there. That's what the politicians do. And so I don't think too many people are going after the politicians. But I think that what would happen is that everybody else, if you were going with like, they would go after their bosses and industry and people like that, unless they got, if they could get like immunity for the night. Then yeah, I think that most people would go after their boss. Maybe some people would go like to their local grocery store. I wonder if you did a purge, like if that was an actual thing, do you think that it would help the states stop mass shootings? I wonder. Because like the theory behind the whole purge is that, you get it out of your system. You get to sort of, you get away with it, right? So would that would that be would would that be like would that be satisfying to people? Like, let's say you're a serial killer, like you're Jeffrey Dahmer or something, right? If you're Jeffrey Dahmer, then would something like that be, would that satisfy your need to kill? Like, could you just go out and fillet 42 people in one night and then for, a whole year you're like, don't have to do shit again? Maybe he takes the second year off because he gets 84 the next year. He doubles up on his count. I think that stoners would stupidly stay together I think stoners would get killed. Like, if you went out of the house, if you weren't having a party and stayed at your buddy's house, you leave the house, you're dead, okay? Because you're too high. Let's be honest. Like, if you smoke weed, you're walking around, you're like, oh, hey, Frank, what's up? And you don't know Frank hates you. Well, Frank just, you know? Or just somebody, like, you're trying to score weed and, well, dude just wants to shoot someone because he's purging that night and you're not, you know? I think that maybe that would happen, but I still also think that we would be lazy and smart enough, lazy enough and smart enough to stay in the house and entertain ourselves playing board games or some shit, you know? That's what I think would happen. I think it's also crazy to think that we as a society at this point in life can actually, you know, some of us, I guess, can envision a future where something like that is possible. That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up. It's fucked up that we've got to the point where our opinions can get us in trouble instead of our actions. And our actions, a lot of the time, even if they're, you know, off to one side, they get us rewarded, they don't get us in trouble. Like, look at all these kids coming up, dude. All these kids coming up are pretty, like, not all of them, but there's a good chunk of them that are pretty entitled, you know? I've noticed some of that in my kids a little wee bit. I've noticed some entitlement creeping into their existence. So I've been trying to purge that for like the last couple weeks or so, because it's rising up. There's a little mutiny happening where they think they could steer the ship better than I can. It's not going to happen, folks. I'm taking control slowly but surely. I am taking back my kingdom. That's right. Step by step. And then once you secure your kingdom, you secure it all down, you bring your people in, and you keep them safe from all the crazy that's going on outside. Because all these people just want to freaking each other until there's only a one-sided opinion left in life. And there's only one agreed upon true directive. Like, for all of the options and all of the need and cry for abundance, we very much are narrowing down our ability to choose anything other than one avenue. It's weird, dude. How can we say that we want to progress society and we want to have, you know, a multicultural environment, a globally accepted level of multiculturalism? How about that? Okay? And legitimately say that we want that when each side is just wrestling for their opinion to be the right opinion, right? So I get that over history things shift and move, but if we want to stop one way of life from overtaking another way of life, right? Then shouldn't we look at this bigger picture? But we're not. Because each side is just trying to say, my side's right. So prove me wrong that your side's right or whatever, but there's no proving wrong. There's no changing minds. The people that do these things are just, that's my idea. And that's that. Well, I have seen videos where these guys will turn around and go, we'll be wrong. And they'll admit their defeat by saying, oh, okay, well, I still don't believe in it. Like, all right. But that's not the essence of what these guys are trying to do. Like, they say they're trying to create discourse and debate, but really what they're doing is they're trying to shut down discourse and debate because they're as rigid on their beliefs as the side that they argue about. And that is where the purge comes from, because now you have warring factions. You have built warring factions on either sides of your homeland, and you're just gonna clash. It's gonna be an all-out Warcraft style battle. Knights and gnomes and ogres and unicorns are going to be marching across the countryside, clashing in the middle of the sky like magic, in a cascade of exploding fireworks that signifies the disturbance in the force. So that's why I think that we're headed towards, potentially, I think that, not that we're headed, I think that's why I think that it's a possibility that in our lifetime we could see the Purge. That's what I'm saying. I really believe that at this point, I can't rule it out. I don't know that I fully believe it'll happen, but like, you can't, it's got to stay on the list. People are too agitated. They're ready to do anything. People are stabbing people on buses, dude, for no reason. Ripping heads off, like, it's crazy. So this sesh, I smoked the tribal galactic runts because I wanted to stay calm and try to stay focused for talking about this, as per the usual. It's a good vape card. I think it's about 78%. It's a hybrid indica. It's very relaxing. I think that, did I say it's 78%? It's a live resin, so the high lasts a little longer. It's a little more intense. It's a little nicer, a little more quality, I guess you could say. If you're looking for a full review on it, I already did one. You can check it out on Thoughts Off the Stem on YouTube under the Sunday Strain Review playlist. Yeah. So thanks for sticking around this long. Like I said, those are my thoughts off the stem. Thank you for joining me, Justin Barone. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week I hope you come back next week on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, YouTube, Good Pods, Podchaser, Pandora, Podbean, and everywhere you get a podcast. It's out there, baby. I'm in a mood now. And don't forget to check out tots420.com, where all the newest episodes are released. And hope life is good to you. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.